Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about cyclothymia. What is this weird word? What does it mean? So like I said, today we're going to talk about cyclothymia. What is cyclothymia? Why is that such a strange word? Well, once I get talking to you about it, you'll understand why it sounds like cyclothymia. So, cyclothymia falls under the bipolar disorder, or falls into the bipolar disorder bucket. I like a bucket, that sounds better. So it falls into that category. And I've heard from many of you that you struggle with this and you wanted me to talk about it a little bit more. So what I'm going to go over today is, number one, what is cyclothymia? How do we diagnose it? And then, what are the medication and treatment options that we have? And that's it. We get in and get out. Are you ready? Are you with me? Let's get started. Cyclothymia must occur for at least 2 years in adults, 1 year in children and adolescents. So yes, if you're an adolescent, you can still be diagnosed with cyclothymia. Now, the reason that they call it cyclothymia, if you remember my old video where I talked about bipolar disorder on a whiteboard, like a teacher, like follow along as I tell you why this is called this. That will make it, if you haven't watched that, watch that. Because that will make this so much more clear. So cyclothymia there must have been numerous periods of hypomanic episodes, meeting the criteria for hypomania. If you wonder what hypomania is, you can watch my bipolar 2 video where I explain what that is. So here is hypomania. We're on that whiteboard again. So hypomania is here. Mania would be like up here. Then we're kind of in the middle, like, hey, just hanging out. And then we get into kind of dysthymia. I have a video about that as well. I have a lot of videos. If you have questions, just search the word I'm talking about, Kati Morton, and it'll probably come up. So I have a video about dysthymia, and then down here at the bottom we have a major depressive episode, which I also explain in my bipolar 2 video. So, with cyclothymia, we don't reach mania, we only reach hypomania. So we've hit it, but we don't go above, we just stay here. And then depression's all the way down here, MDD, we don't hit that either. We hit dysthymia, that low-grade depression that can last for a long time. Hence why it says this must last for at least 2 years. Got it? So we fall in this kind of middle yet still uncomfortable realm of highs and lows. Never major highs or major lows, we kind of float in and out. And that's also why this goes undiagnosed all the time, because for a lot of people it's somewhat manageable. And I use quotes because it's still not good, but we can kind of tolerate it. Okay? So that's how we diagnose it. And I think it's important to note, you don't meet the criteria for MDD, but you meet the full criteria for hypomania. Okay? So we're going from hypomania to dysthymia. And I want to also note, and I'm just reading from what I wrote down here, that if you also meet the criteria for borderline personality disorder, that's fine. You can have both. They can happen simultaneously. And this is often comorbid, meaning happening at the same time with drug and alcohol abuse, because, like I said, people tolerate it okay, they do okay, but they usually self-medicate. And so it's often that we find people with cyclothymia struggle also with alcohol and drug abuse. Okay? So that's what it is. That's how long it has to last, and that's kind of what it feels like. What are our options? So, okay, we have this. So, as all bipolar disorder things, I have to talk about medication. I know, I already feel your anger and frustration that you will probably leave in the comments about, like, why do you always say medication? Medication can be so incredibly helpful. It's not for everybody, but it's definitely something for people who struggle with this can be really beneficial. And the medications that they recommend, obviously I'm not a doctor. You have to see a doctor for this, but they recommend mood stabilizers. Wow, say that 5 times fast. Mood stabilizers or antipsychotic medication. Now, the reason that they give you these is because obviously we're floating in between. We're all over. We feel up and down and all around, and mood stabilizers does just that. It works to stabilize our mood. And antipsychotic medications also help with that as well. And so talk to your doctor if medication is something that you're looking into. And also they recommend psychotherapy. That's me. Hey, we do therapy. And CBT they find to be the best because there are a lot of behavioral things that you can do to help yourself better manage the symptoms. They obviously recommend psychotherapy and medication together. It's like with our powers combined, we can rule the world. You know, remember like heart? Nobody wanted to be heart, but it was like water, air. Anyway, those are best combined. So see a therapist and see a psychiatrist so you can get all the help you need. And like I said, CBT is the best. They also recommend, and this is something I don't do, so don't ask me to do a video on it because this isn't a type of therapy I do, but it's called IPSRT, Interpersonal and Social Rhythm Therapy. They say this helps us get into a more consistent schedule, like a rhythm of sleep, wake, eating, etc., and that helps better manage your symptoms as well. I hope you found this helpful, and that's what cyclothymia is. And if you haven't checked out my other videos about bipolar disorder, that will definitely help this make even more sense and have even a bigger picture of what's going on. And don't forget to subscribe to this video. And if you like these kinds of structured, what is it, how can we help ourselves, give us a thumbs up. And leave your comments below if you have experience with this. We're a community, we work together. We share our comments and our experiences, and that's wonderful and helpful and amazing. And I will see you all next time. Go right here with your hands. How far is the box? I actually have to think about it. It's actually very difficult. And I don't want to mess up my hair. That's why the pat goes up top. So you have to think about it again because you're like, no. It's too much. I gotta focus on cyclothymia. Stop trying to trick me.